It's a hidden dragon world.
Wow.
There were dragons when I was a boy. Where they went, only a few know. Our story changed the world forever. We did it! The world's first dragon Viking utopia.
Your utopia, maybe. Mine's less crowded and more... Oh! Sanitary.
Hey, bud, wait up! Oh my God, he's not the only one.
She's a light fury.
Oh, sorry.
Did she just disappear? Wow.
It's a hidden dragon world. Toothless, go introduce yourself.
Found my heart, broke it, here, made friends and lost them through the years.
Toothless has a girlfriend.
I've hunted every Night Fury except yours. Hand him over.
I will never give him up.
Then I will destroy everything you love.
We are no longer safe here. We all have to disappear, completely off the map. We have to fight for their freedom. Come on, buddy!
You're nothing without your dragons.
Show them what you got, bud. Save him. It's you and me, bud. Always.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. Trailer Week continues. We have new How to Train Your Dragon. If you didn't know, they did make another movie. It's coming out next year. So be sure to subscribe to get everything if you're finding me for the first time. But the big deal with this, like the new dragon, is called the Light Fury because Toothless is a Night Fury, so she's part of his subclass. But remember, most Night Furies were hunted to extinction. So the whole idea is that she represents the promise of bringing those back. But the way they're describing her in the movie is that she's wild, untamed, and you can see that Toothless has been domesticated since the first movie. They modeled Toothless after a cat, so you could just see, like, him being awkward, trying to introduce himself to the Light Fury in their mating ritual. Like, it's a good analogy that animals that have been domesticated lose the ability to survive in the wild, and if Toothless is going to help repopulate his race of Night Furies, he needs to go back into the wild with the Light Fury. So it's kind of like this sad tale about how they're both growing up and evolving. They've been saying that this movie is probably going to be the last one with these characters. They're going to try and develop spin-off movies, so they'll be more like inside the world of How to Train Your Dragon. But the whole idea is you see Hiccup growing up, becoming more of a leader of his people, of humankind, and Toothless becoming more of a leader of dragonkind. In order to do that, there's a certain natural order to things, so dragons were not meant to be domesticated. So you have this nice arc across 3 movies with Toothless and Hiccup. Like, he's obviously going to have to ride off into the sunset with the Light Fury at the end of the movie. And maybe Hiccup becomes more of a leader of men, not just the people on this island. Like, he's the future leader of his own people in this small community here. But it sounds like he keeps facing these external challenges from these other hunters. So the only way to change that in a really big way is to actually become a bigger leader of people so that he can influence things on a larger scale. Like, you can't control or stop dragon hunting outright if you're trying to deal with people from other nations. So the only way to do that is to become a bigger leader of people across the world. But for the most part, pretty much all the big main actors are coming back. Like, even Kit Harington's character is coming back from the second one. Make all the Jon Snow Game of Thrones jokes that you want.
No game. We just want to meet Drago.
Why? Because I'm going to change his mind about dragons.
I remember when the second one came out because we'd already had Daenerys' dragons for a couple seasons at that point, but it was back in 2014, so we were only on like season 3 of Game of Thrones. So like think about what was going on in the show in that time. So there's a lot of analogies for Game of Thrones going on in this too, like bringing dragons back into the world, going back to the natural order of things. Just from a pure animation and storytelling standpoint, I feel like How to Train Your Dragon has probably been DreamWorks Animation's best franchise. You start with the first film, it's all about rediscovering dragons. Hiccup finds Toothless, you learn that dragons aren't evil, they're not malevolent, so they start to coexist by the end of that first film on that little Viking island. Then by the second film, it's like a full-blown sanctuary. You learn about Hiccup's mother, how she has been rescuing dragons this whole time. So it's sort of like them bringing dragons back into the world, helping them flourish on their little island, then releasing them back into the wild by the third film. But if you were confused about the timeline in the trailer, they give you most of the story, but they sort of cut in footage from all 3 of the films, so it's a little confusing. You have to look at Hiccup and his beard level. So he's at full beard by the third film, like when they find the dragon sanctuary that his mother created, that's during the second film. But the new villain of the third film is played by F. Murray Abraham, if you didn't recognize his voice. He's called Grimmel. So he's basically just another Drago Bloodfist. Like he was the villain of the second film, the person hunting down dragons. So they're not trying to pull any kind of Marvel Avengers Hulk trailer situation where they completely mislead you. Like he says, I'll take everything you love. I'm hunting down all Night Furies. The idea being if he doesn't give Toothless up, he'll kill the Light Fury, and then Toothless doesn't have anybody to mate with, so his subspecies will die off, so they need to rescue her. So it's a pretty clean arc in the film. Like rescue the Light Fury, help Toothless repopulate his race. But just let me know what you think of the animation and the story so far. It just sounds like if this is all about Toothless mating with the Light Fury, then maybe Hiccup is going to have a baby at some point during the film, like he's going to have his own family too. But I am kind of surprised about how far along the animation is when the film isn't coming out for another 9 months. Originally, this was scheduled to be released like way back in 2017, but DreamWorks and DreamWorks Animation went through all this restructuring and a bunch of people got fired, so I think it just delayed the project for a couple years, so that's why it's taken so long for this film to come out. But what's coming up is, if you guys didn't know, E3 is going to be happening really soon. I'll do trailer videos for anything that's really relevant, like Spider-Man on the PS4, but leave all your video requests in the comments below. I have some new Flash that I'll post later today. While you wait for everything, click here for a new Avengers 4 teaser, and click here for that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.